Remember how Chad and Lori called Alex and said that Tammy was getting exhumed? And we all wondered how Chad and Lori knew, because Chad's kids didn't even know. I have an answer. I think it's an answer. There was a warrant sent to the police station in Springville. Multiple people saw the warrant. They would have to contact then the people at the cemetery. They had to get a warrant to go to the cemetery to do it. A lot of people saw the warrant. At the cemetery, they'd have to coordinate with the cemetery people. Yes, you're right. Chad Daybell knew people in the industry. Probably one of the underlings at the cemetery or at the city, small town, not as small as Rexburg, people talk. Believe me, people talk. And I think that's how they found out. In fact, it went through the police department, through the city manager, through the cemetery, through the sexton. There were a lot of people that knew. And interestingly enough, Chad Daybell is the one who informed a lot of his family. And I'm going to show you a picture of, zoomed in, of what the cemetery looked like the day after the exhumation. I just need to be sure I don't show anything I shouldn't here. So let me zoom in. Okay, this might work. Here we go. Whoops, not that. Sorry, I have to exit out of PowerPoint. I promise it's coming. So, what do I think happened? I think that Chad got tipped off by someone he knew. And I don't think that they did it on purpose. I think at that point it was like, hey man, do you know why they're exhuming your wife's burial place? This was Tammy's burial site right there. And this photo was taken, again, the day after she was exhumed. So, and you wouldn't have even known they did it so quickly. And this is what happened. This was the next day, the day after that her body was exhumed. So great question. Great question on that. And I know so many of you emailed saying, how in the world did Chad Daybell find out and Lori knew, but his own kids didn't, and Samantha and her family didn't, and the parents didn't? I got this from someone I know who is very reliable, but I have to say it in a way that won't implicate them. Remember how many of you have talked about Chad Daybell's books and what's happened to them, the books he wrote. From what I've been told, the books, the only way to get them now is through a third party like Amazon, unless they have some new distributor, because the original distributor, all of the books that were in the warehouse when Daybell was arrested were destroyed or given back to the kids once they took control of his publishing company. Chad Daybell's kids took control of his publishing company when he was arrested. So this person has known Chad through the years, had an interaction with Chad in person after Lori was arrested, and this person expressed sympathies to Chad that he lost his wife, Tammy, and, quote, the only thing he could talk about was how wonderful Lori was. He didn't acknowledge Tammy's passing at all. So, those of you asking about his books, the original publisher destroyed them or got rid of them, gave them away, gave them back to the kids. The other thing is that this Chad didn't seem too upset about Tammy.